Mhm. Thank you. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Judge Law, and we are going to begin with our misdemeanor calendar, our first appearance misdemeanor calendar for individuals who've been recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Let me see, I have ACDC, which is empty. And let's see now, courtroom 2 and courtroom 1 have not signed on yet. So and we have Miss Lucia who's going to be here for a case. So tell you what, let's go over some preliminary matters. First of all, most important, Miss Bridgewater, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Your reset date for the SAP calendar is May the 6th.
All right, thank you so much.
Mhm.
Okay. And do any of the defense counsel have any waivers of appearance or
I
reset?
do have one.
Which one?
It's position number 5. I'm sorry, position number 15.
Okay. And that's going to be a reset or a waiver?
No, it's a waiver.
Waiver of appearance. Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Is that Jameson?
That's Haley Van Heydrich.
Yeah, Mr. Jataya sent me
Yes, that's
that.
my case. That's a waiver.
All right.
There-
Thank you, Mr. Ty. Okay.
Let's also do one waiver of presence for Jameson.
And that would be position 10.
Thank you.
Okay.
And positions 1 and 4 are reset.
Oh, again, okay.
Oh, what again mean?
They were reset yesterday, and I believe the day before.
Yes, Your Honor. So as long as we're all clear, these aren't Riverside issues. Do these need to be, are these behavioral or mental health? Do we need to ask they be set on the competency calendar?
Let's see now. James Ale, Mr. Shatai, is that going to be probably reset pursuant to a social worker visit?
Yes, Your Honor. I already emailed our social workers and they should be reaching out to Mr. Ale and Mr. Evans. So as soon as I figure out what's going on with them, we'll let the court know.
All right, this will be a final reset to April 24th. This is not a Riverside matter. And we'll need a social worker visit where the PD's office would need to let us know whether it's going to our 11 a.m. calendar or whether there's going to be a waiver of appearance. Otherwise, we would need to compel Mr. Ale to show up in court. And with regards to position number 4, is that the same situation?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. And let me see, this is going to be 1, 2. So this is be the third reset for Ale. And
I think it's about the same for Evans as well.
okay. This would be second reset for Evans. And this is again, Mr. Chate, it's going to be a final reset. There's going to be a waiver of appearance, a reset to the competency calendar, or he'll need to be compelled to appear. Okay, on that note, I think we have some, I don't know, did I just see the jail appear or?
Courtroom 2 entered the waiting room. Oh, they're waiting to be admitted.
Yeah. All right, courtroom 2 is present and we have an individual from the Alpharetta Annex. And we have ACDC also. Okay, just at the right spot. All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Again, my name is Judge Law, and this is going to be the first appearance calendar for misdemeanor cases for individuals who were recently arrested and charged with such offenses at the Fulton County Jail. Upon being booked in at the jail, their cases have now been formally accused. So when I call your case, I will let you know what is your new case number, what are the charges brought against you, to appoint counsel where necessary, to give you a court date and a bond. Now, if you this is your first appearance and you're so charged with a criminal offense, please remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you choose to say during the course of this virtual proceeding, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. These proceedings are being recorded and live streamed, so highly recommend that you speak with your counsel privately rather than making statements in open court. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. With regards to your bond, some of you may qualify for what we call a signature bond, in which you won't have to pay today, but you will have to comply with certain conditions or risk the bond being revoked. Others may qualify for what we call a surety bond, in which you would have to pay for your bond through a bonding company, or you can pay a cash bond out of your own pocket. All right, let's begin with courtroom 2. Should I go to Alpharetta Annex first?
Yeah, we can start there, Judge.
All right. Alpharetta Annex, if the deputy is there, please unmute. Thank you. And who do we have at the annex?
I'm David Gardano.
David Gardano. And Mr. Gardano, do you speak English?
Not completely good. Yeah, I need to.
Judge, he said he needed a interpreter, a Russian interpreter.
A Russian interpreter. Okay.
Correct.
My Russian is really, really rusty. And Miss Lucia, how is your Russian? Is she on Zoom?
If you want to go to the next person, I can get the female for Alpharetta.
Okay, that would be fine. And
Here,
just 1 second, Deputy, for Mr. Gardanov, do not get a Russian interpreter today. I will have to reset him to tomorrow.
Okay.
Who's his attorney, Mr. Shatay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. Were you able to have a reasonably decent conversation with him?
I wasn't able to talk to him, Your Honor. When I started explaining the bond process, he said he would rather have an interpreter to translate our conversation.
Okay.
Okay, Judge, I'll reach out and try to find someone, but like you stated, it might be have to reset for tomorrow. And Miss Lucia, like you stated earlier, and I sent in the chat, won't be on till about 2:30, she said.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. All right, then we have somebody else at the annex.
Yes, she's coming, Miss Greta Zephyr, if I'm saying it right.
Okay.
Zephyr.
Greta Zephyr.
Correct.
And who's got Garcia Gutierrez? Is that Mr. McLean or Mr. Shatay?
Okay, I'm ready for the number. Yeah.
Mr. McLean, I'm sorry, is that your client? Position 6, Garcia 1, Gutierrez Garcia?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you'll need to interview him with the interpreter?
No, Your Honor. The person I need to interview is Mr. Laguna.
Misu?
Laguna?
Laguna. Okay, thank you.
Miss Zephyr. Leave all that and come on, because we are on Zoom court. Here she is, Judge.
Thank you. All right. Good afternoon, Ms. Zephyr. My name is Judge Law, and we're going to be addressing this new case that has been accused against you with regards to a misdemeanor criminal offense. First of all, I'd like you to remember that you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Your case number is 25 CR 002116E. You're accused of criminal trespass and causing damage to property. Your attorney, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. Alex Shatay. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Fifth arrest, 2013, shoplifting dismissed. And before that was 1995.
All right, thank you. Ms. Harrison, good afternoon. What's your recommendation?
Good afternoon, Judge. This offense occurred on March 24th, 2025. The incident location is 1099 West Side Parkway, which is Homewood Suites. Officers responded to a call that a car had been vandalized. Upon arriving at the scene, they met with the victim, Ms. Ramona Riches, who stated that her Toyota Cross, her 2024 Toyota Cross, had the tires slashed in two parts of the car. The officers reviewed surveillance video from the hotel and saw an SUV park about 100 feet away from Ms. Rich's car in an adjacent parking lot, and they saw a suspect approach the front left side of the vehicle, deflate the tire, and then move to the right rear side of the vehicle and deflate that tire as well. A follow-up investigation on April 16th with the victim conducted by police. They did an interview with Ms. Riches, and she informed them of her suspicion of the defendant due to a workplace dispute and subsequent comments the defendant made at the workplace regarding the investigation. The officers looked the defendant up and found a BMW registered to her and matched her license plates to plate readers and the hotel's security footage at the time of the incident. And they matched the defendant's registered BMW to that time frame. They then contacted the defendant and did an interview with her on April 22nd, and she identified her vehicle on the surveillance footage and confirmed that she was the person driving the vehicle at the times that the plate readers caught her license plate and captured the images. She also did not have a consistent story about why she was at the location that time, though she wasn't scheduled to work. We did speak with the victim via her daughter today. She stated that she does not have any, she hasn't had any prior issues with the defendant before this incident, but she doesn't know why this incident occurred, and she does have fear of the defendant. She doesn't want any contact with her at all. The defendant is still working at the hotel. The victim also is still working at the hotel. So the state's recommendation in light of the defendant's prior criminal history is a $2,000 surety bond. And we're asking for no contact with the victim, a stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. And we'll sound for the victim in the event that she is in court today. But if she is, I think she may need an interpreter.
Okay.
That's all for this.
Ramona Ritchie, is that the victim?
Yes, Your Honor.
Miss Ritchie, if you are on Zoom, this is the time to unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. Chate.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to ask this court to consider a signature bond. My client is 64 years old. She has lived in the state of Georgia for the past 26 years. She has an associate's degree as well. She studied accounting and business. And for the past 2 years, she has been working at the Home 2 Suites hotel as a front desk clerk. Given those factors, Your Honor, I would ask the court to consider a signature bond. And also in terms of her history and the cycles we heard, I don't believe she has any violent convictions, and I did not see any failures to appear on her public safety assessment report. So for those reasons, I asked the court to consider my recommendation instead. Also, her daughter is here on the Zoom. I was able to get in touch with her. So if she would like to speak, she may.
Who's the daughter?
Kalila Zephyr.
Oh, okay. Miss Kalila Zephyr, please unmute your Zoom panel.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
What would you like to tell us?
The prior incidences that I believe it was Miss Harrison stated on were unfortunate incidences that happened a long time ago and were not anything that was initiated by my mother. And no convictions occurred in those situations. They were just unfortunate life circumstances that happened through relationships.
Are you familiar as to whether Greta Zephyr still works at the Homewood Suites?
Yes, I am familiar with that.
And does she?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you.
Okay.
Please mute your screen. Bond is set at 2,500, it's a signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. No further contact with Ramona Ritchie. Work hours or schedules must be planned by her employer so that her work schedule does not overlap with Miss Ramona Ritchie. So Miss Greta Zephyr will need to let her employer know that she has a criminal case against her, that there's a bond order, and that the bond order requires that her work schedule is not the same as Ramona Ritchie. She cannot be in the same building as Ramona Ritchie. If Ramona Ritchie is in the building, she would need to leave the premises, and then she can return when Miss Ritchie is done with her work schedule and left the building. So she's required to stay away from 1099, the Homewood Suites at 1099 Westside Parkway only when Ramona Ritchie is working there. But other than that, once she's off the clock, she's to have no further contact with Ramona Ritchie. She cannot be within 200 yards of Miss Ritchie, and she cannot try to communicate with Miss Ritchie or even try to reach her directly or through a third party. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and she needs to report to pretrial services once a month. Her next court date will be sent to her current mailing address, so please be sure that you have a current residential address with the court at all times. Thank you. All right, Alfreda Annex Deputy, we're still waiting on a Russian interpreter. We'll try to let you know within the next 20 minutes if we're going to get one or whether I need to reset that case, okay?
I have one more, Mr. IP.
Oh, that's fine, thank you.
Okay.
Give me that last name again.
IP.
Number 9.
Okay. Do I pronounce your name as IP or IP? Okay. This is 25 CR 002120A. Mr. Spencer Ip has been advised of his right to remain silent, and his attorney is Mr. Chate. His case involves 4 separate misdemeanor offenses, 2 counts of simple assault, family violence, disorderly conduct, and criminal trespass from December 1st, 2024. Mr. Ip, all right. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
No.
All right. Miss Westman?
Good morning, Your Honor.
Hello.
The incident happened on December 1st of 2024. The officers were called in reference to domestic disturbance. When they arrived, they spoke to the defendant's father outside, who advised that the defendant was having some kind of mental challenges at the time, and that he was inside. So the officer went inside, and they observed the defendant throwing things around the house. There was broken items. The victim said that they were in fear of being hit by these items that were being thrown around. Walls were damaged. The defendant, they were advised, is bipolar. The officers observed him in frantic and incoherent. We spoke to the, and I should also mention, I'm sorry, that there was a 3-year-old in the home. So, based on that, we did, we were concerned for the safety here. There are no priors. However, this is concerning. So we are going to recommend that there be no further violent contact, of course, between the victim in this case, which is Dang Quing Lee, as well as his father, who was visiting in town, which is Donald Ip. That there be no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, that there be an anger management course. We would like a mental health evaluation. If one has already been done, we would like that they show proof of that and that the defendant is following the requirements. At this point, we would sound for Ms. Dang-Queen Lee or Donald Ip.
All right, if anybody would like to contribute to the case involving Spencer Ip, this would be the time to unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. Chate?
What was the recommended bond amount?
I don't think I heard one, but
A $2,000. It was, we said a signature. I said a signature bond.
signature bond? Okay.
Okay, sorry. Then no objection to the state's recommendations, Your Honor, except for the mental health evaluation test, because I spoke with Mr. Ip today and I don't suspect that he has any competency issues. He answered all of my questions and he seemed lucid. So I would object to the MHET.
Okay.
This-
Go ahead, Ms. Westman.
I just want to say that the father did say that there was bipolar and that the defendant was frantic and incoherent, and that at the time that he was put in to an institution for 2 days to get an evaluation. Whether it was done or not, I believe there is sufficient evidence to show that it should have been done. And if it wasn't done, we want to make sure that he's following whatever those suggestions were at the time.
Okay. And Donald Ip was visiting, wasn't he? He doesn't live there.
Correct.
Okay.
He's in North Carolina. Sorry, Your Honor.
Okay, no problem. Is Mrs. Ip around? There she is. All right, Mrs. Ip, please unmute. No.
Sorry, I was having some difficulty connecting to internet. Yeah, this is Dan-Qing Lee, like Spencer Yip's wife.
Okay.
I'd like to say, yeah,
Please raise your right hand. Other right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
yes,
All right. Is Donald Ip still living in the property?
no,
All right. And this incident obviously occurred about 4 or 5 months ago. And has there been any ongoing treatment for Mr. Spencer Ip?
no treatment, but he quit drinking after that.
Have there been any episodes similar to the one from December of 2024?
No,
Okay. And are you comfortable with Mr. Ip being at home with you and your child?
yes, my child is no longer at the house now, so
He doesn't live with you both?
yeah, we sent him back to my parents' place to stay with him for a while, so he's not in United States now.
Is your child planning to come? Are you planning to bring him back to live with you as a family?
Yes, it's just vacation for him.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you, Mrs. Lee. You can mute your screen, please. On the simple assault family violence, that's going to be $1,500 each. On the disorderly conduct is $500, and the trespass is $500. This is a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 1. Mr. Spencer Ip, you can sign up for your bond, but there are going to be some strict conditions for you to follow. And if you don't follow these conditions, you will be at risk for having your bond surrendered. I need you to pay attention, otherwise we'll be glad to address this tomorrow. First of all, no further violent contact with Donald Ip and with Miss Dang-Ling Lee, your wife, and no further violent contact with any other members of your family, including your child or children. You are to, and I can't understand what that is, the sign language.
Can you repeat what you just stated?
Your bond is $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 1. You can sign up for your bond, but you must report to pretrial once a month. You must comply with the conditions of the bond, otherwise you risk losing your signature bond and being arrested again. The conditions of your bond are no further violent contact with Donald Ip, with your wife Dang-Ling Lee, as well as your child or children. Can you hear me?
Yeah, he can hear you. He just trying to figure out what does that mean about not talking to his dad. But
and children and even wife. I have no idea what
What did I just say? No further what?
You said violent.
I said no further violent contact. That means you cannot engage in any physical or verbal altercation with any of these individuals.
Okay, there never
There
was.
is a physical altercation or if there is a verbal altercation and the police get involved, so they will arrest you first, bring you back to jail, and then we will ask questions. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
If you believe that you're having a mental episode, you need to leave the house and immediately go to the hospital because you will risk being arrested again and you will lose your signature bond, which means the next time you're in jail, you'll have to pay that $4,000 bond. No point asking the deputy. The only person to ask is me. Unmute.
I really need to go through a full process to get a final. This is I'm totally lost in this case. This is
There's
cost
nothing to be lost. You have criminal charges against you. You have
trespassing.
bond.
I never laid a hand on my wife. nor
Okay,
on my-
Mr. Ip, I strongly recommend that you don't say anything about your case. Right here, these hearings are recorded and the prosecutors are listening to you. So if you have a question about bond, then after the hearing, you can call the main line to our office and we'll answer procedural bond questions. But right now, I strongly advise you against talking about your case.
Okay, once a month. Can she explain that further? I didn't catch the
You
whole.
will be monitored by a company with the Fulton County Pretrial Services. You have to report to this office once a month. You will attend an orientation and they will give you instructions of how to report once a month. This is a process to make sure that you stay out of trouble, that you do not get arrested again, and that you comply with the bond conditions.
Is this gonna stay on my record? That's why I need a full hearing. That's why I need a full hearing.
I will be glad to give you a hearing and we
I
can
need a lawyer. I need a
have
lawyer.
a lawyer. You have Mr. Alex
I have
Shapiro.
a public representative that I'm not paying for. And
Do you want to hire another attorney?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, then that's what you'll do once you are released on bond. But right now, you are going to report to pretrial. Now, if you don't want to comply with these conditions, I'll be glad to put a $4,000 cash bond, and then you can pay the cash and come back to court for your hearing.
I will comply. Can you also?
Listen very carefully. Shut up and listen very carefully. You understand the no further violent contact? Okay. The other thing you have to do is enroll in a domestic violence intervention program, and you must do so within 30 days of being released. This is a domestic violence program, and you will attend and complete all 26 classes at your expense. You cannot afford to skip or miss any of these classes. You are not to consume any alcoholic beverages. You're not to consume any illegal drugs, and you're not allowed to own or possess any firearms. There cannot be any firearms in your home, on your person, or anywhere near you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am. May I ask one question?
Not yet. If you fail to report to pretrial, if you get arrested again for anything else, if you don't show up to court when summoned, or if you get violate any other conditions of the bond, you will be rearrested and this bond will be surrendered. Now, what's your question? Only if I can answer it, because otherwise your attorney should be answering them.
The term of this 26-day or month or whatever, how long is that going to last? Because my wife and I were planning to move to China to settle our lives because we don't want to deal with this.
Thank you for letting me know that, because this is the information that you should have shared with your attorney privately rather than announcing it in open court. So here's the other thing you have to do. Within 30 days, when you enroll in the domestic violence intervention program, it's 26-week program and you need to attend and complete each class. Within 30 days also, when you report to pretrial services, you are to surrender your passport. Pretrial services must have your passport.
I have to go pick.
And you are not allowed to travel outside the United States of America until this case is resolved.
Okay, and so again, once
Go ahead, say something else. You're
My
gonna.
wife cannot afford to take off time to go pick up my son in China, and she was
You
planning
can
to
go.
bring
You
him.
cannot go.
She has no she would have to quit her job. We literally just took a month off to bring my son to China so he could grow up in a
You
good life.
cannot.
Okay, is this all final? Because when I hire an attorney,
That
can
attorney will tell you what to do
can
next.
these circumstances change at all?
The attorney will know what to do next.
But will they be able to, I mean,
I cannot answer for that question. Depends on what the attorney says. Next case.
Position A, Judge, Mr. Harris.
Harris, okay. In courtroom 2, okay. Okay, this is John Harris, is that correct? Mr. Harris, is that your first name? Okay. John Harris is accused of 4, 5, 6 misdemeanor offenses in case 25 CR 2119E. Mr. Harris, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Chate. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
55. Last arrest was March 7th, trespass and obstruction.
Mhm.
On probation for ag assault, 23 SC 189889. 2024 failure to appear, 2020 parole violation. Well, 3 parole violations from 2020. 2018 ag assault conviction. 2016 criminal damage to property, 2nd degree. And a 2015 obstruction conviction. The booking shows homeless.
Thank you. Ms. Westman?
Thank you, Your Honor. On April 22nd this year at 50 Alabama Street, there was a bus parked there at the corner of Alabama and Peachtree Street. There was an altercation there that the defendant was involved in. A bus driver who was parked right there, a MARTA bus driver, came over to see if he could help. His name is Winston Douglas. He is one of the victims in this case. And the defendant spit on Mr. Douglas. It did land on his leg. Then MARTA officers showed up. He was taken into the MARTA station. APD was also called. While in the 5 Points MARTA station or the 5 Points MARTA precinct, the defendant exposed his penis to the female officer, Pfeiffer. APD showed up while the defendant was in custody at the 5 Points MARTA station. However, he did make threats to shoot the officers involved in his arrest, which are 4 of the officers: Officer Pfeiffer, Officer Worthy, Officer Gibson, and Officer Graham. At that point, he was, after that, transported, and he made some more threats to kill other people outside. And that's the end of this incident. So based on the 54 arrests and the failures to appear, we are asking for a $4,000 surety bond. No further contact with Winston Douglas, who is the bus driver that tried to help. A stay away from the 5 Points MARTA station and the bus at the corner of Alabama and Peachtree, an anger management course, and we would sound for Mr. Winston Douglas.
Mr. Winston Douglas, if you're on Zoom and you want to be heard, please unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. McLean, anything to add?
Your Honor, 46-year-old John Harris is a graduate of Southside High School here in Atlanta. He does landscaping work, and let's see, he is residentially challenged, and I plan to have a social worker talk to him about several issues. We ask the court to consider the lowest possible bond here. Thank you.
On the simple battery is going to be 1,000. The PI is 1,000. The terroristic charges are 500 each. That's going to be $1, $2, $3, $4,000 is a surety bond. No further contact with Winston Douglas, to stay away from all MARTA property, including buses, trains, the stations, the parking lot, and the sidewalks. no illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And the next court date is going to be May 6th. And recommend a social worker visit. Thank you.
Thank you.
Position 6, Mr. Gutierrez.
This is State versus Juan Gutierrez Garcia, charged with simple battery family violence, case number 25 CR 2114C. Mr. Garcia, do you understand English?
Yeah.
Okay. The incident charge of simple battery family violence stems from an April 22nd, 2025 incident. You've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors?
6. It's all driving. DUI and driving without a valid license.
When was the DUI?
I don't know. I didn't make a note. Hold on.
Your Honor, there was one in 2015, one in 2020. Those are the ones that I saw.
Okay, thank you. And what do you recommend, counsel?
Your Honor, on April 22nd at 11:45 Briarcliff Court Northeast, an officer responded to a call. It was a third party 911 caller. And this was a witness to assault on the victim as they spoke on the phone. But on the scene, the defendant was, when the officer got there, defendant was in the residence and advised that the victim, which is his wife, Lisa Gutierrez Garcia, had locked herself in the bedroom. The officers could hear the children crying in the bedroom, in the bedroom. And Officer McKnight Butler approached there. The defendant did make an admission to the officer during an argument with the victim, Miss Gutierrez. The defendant pulled her hair. The victim was not responding to police in the bedroom, but eventually did open the door to speak to them. She seemed scared. The incident of the hair pulling was when she and the defendant were at CVS following a hospital visit for one of the children who had been having seizures. The defendant became upset because the prescription they needed wasn't ready, and it was in the car on the way home that the defendant had pulled her hair. The children were present for this. There's a 4-month-old and a 15-month-old child in the home. We did speak to the victim today, and they are married. They live together at the location that the officer responded to. They share those two children. The victim did confirm the events in the warrant and said nothing like this has happened before, and that she's not in fear of the defendant and wants him to return. She is on Zoom. I would just like to caution that, there are 2 small children in this house, and the victim was locked in a room with crying children. So certainly I would like no further violent contact, $1,000 surety bond, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and a family violence intervention program. And at this point, I think that Ms. Gutierrez is on the phone. Ms. Gutierrez Garcia, we would sound for her.
Mrs. Gutierrez, if you want to contribute to the proceeding, you'll need to unmute and start your video. All right, Mr. McLean.
Thank you, Your Honor. Juan Gutierrez Garcia is 38 years old. Somehow his birth date has gotten messed up there. It's not June 4th, it's April 6th of that year. So he just had his birthday and turned 38. He is not 37. With that correction, Your Honor, he is a high school graduate. He is a mobile mechanic and has done so for several years. We asked the court to consider the lowest possible bond in this situation, a signature bond if that is possible, with appropriate conditions and classes. Thank you.
And Mr. McLean, so you're saying that the month and day were transposed, like the Commonwealth is not supposed to be June 4th, but
Right.
supposed to be
it's not supposed to be 6, supposed to be 4/6. So he just had his birthday.
Okay.
That's why his age is different than listed, because he just had the birthday.
Okay, Miss Bridgewater, we probably have to amend that on Odyssey or the booking information. That his correct date of birth is April 6, 1987, and not June 4th, 1987.
Okay.
All right, Miss Gutierrez is not responding. Okay. For the simple battery family violence, that's going to be a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 2. And no further violent contact with Lisa Gutierrez Garcia, and no further violent contact with the children in the home. Within 30 days of being released, he will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program. This is a series of 26 classes, and he must attend and pay for each of those classes without missing or skipping any of them. He's also not to consume any illegal drugs and no alcoholic beverages, and will be subject to random screens by pretrial services. Mr. Gutierrez, if you violate these conditions, or if you get arrested again, or if you don't show up for court or report to pretrial twice a month, your signature bond will be surrendered and amended to either a cash bond or a surety bond. Please be sure to comply with these conditions. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Judge Law. This is going to be position number 2, Ms. Bailey Jones.
Okay, thank you. Lovely Tatiana Bailey Jones is accused of battery, family violence, 2 counts from April 20th, 2025 in case 25 CR 2108E. Ms. Bailey Jones, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Chate. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Second, I saw a March 29th battery. State, can you find that charge? I can find it. But it's on the GCIC as an arrest.
All right.
I didn't see that.
I don't think I saw any jailing. Was it with this county or another jurisdiction?
It said APD. Hold on. But it didn't say DeKalb County or nothing. Hold on. Let me look again.
All right. And while we are waiting, Ms. Melguzo, what is the recommendation from the state?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 20th, 2025. The location is 160 Arcadia Circle Northwest, Atlanta. Officers spoke with the victim, Mr. Jermaine Mitchell, who stated that him and the defendant got into a verbal altercation when he got home from work. During this verbal altercation, the victim made a statement that seemed to make the defendant really angry. She then started to physically attack him by biting his forearm and punching him. The victim had visible injuries, including lacerations to his upper lip and swelling on his right forearm. The victim and the defendant have had an on and off relationship, and the victim has been allowing the defendant to stay at his residence. The state's recommendation is signature bond through pretrial, 1-day anger awareness, no further contact with Mr. Mitchell, stay away from 160 Arcadia Circle Northwest, and no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond.
Is there an East Point hold? Is that the battery charge you're thinking of, Mr. Howard? I've got an East Point hold on the
Nah, the battery has APD attached to it. And that's another thing that I don't see the whole on the GCIC. They didn't print it off. Don't look like it.
No, I don't know, but
Yeah, give me a moment. Let me look at something. I'm
Francois,
about to run this GCIC real quick.
Francois, Jail Records has got a East Point hold for Miss Bailey Jones. Mr. Chate, anything else to add?
No, Your Honor, I don't object to the state's recommendation.
All right. On the battery family violence, that's going to be $2,000 on each count. That's going to be a $4,000 signature bond for pretrial services, level 1, which means Ms. Bailey Jones, depending on whether East Point has a hold on you, because right now that's what I see on the jailing screen. So if you do have a valid hold by East Point Police Department, East Point will have to come pick you up, take you to East Point Municipal Court, and deal with whatever you have out there. Do you understand? Okay, but once you resolve your issue in East Point and you're released, Then you must report to pretrial services in Fulton County once a month. You're also to have no further contact with Jermaine Mitchell. That means you have to stay 200 yards away from him, not communicate with him in any way, form, or manner. And you're also required to stay away from 160 Arcadia Circle in Northwest. You're allowed to go to the location one time only with a police officer to retrieve your belongings, and your visit cannot exceed 30 minutes. Do you understand? Within 30 days of being released, you have to update the court clerk's office of your new residential address in writing, and you are to attend and complete 2 anger awareness classes. Your next court date will be sent to your new address, so make sure we have it. If you don't show up for court, you can be arrested again. Thank you.
That's per Judge Holly.
Huh?
Next, Judge, we have position number 13, Ms. Ogo Remy.
13, okay. Is the Alfreda Annex still on Zoom? All right, Mr. Gardenoff's case, position 5 is going to be reset to April 24th. And Ms. Bridgewater or Ms. Grace, can we make sure we have a Russian interpreter available, please?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Good. I'm sorry, Francois, could you give me the last name again?
It's position number 13, Ogo Remy.
Yeah, got it. Thank you. Rachel Ogun Remy is accused of simple battery, family violence. These 3 charges stem from a April 21st, April 22nd, and April 23rd, 2025 incident under case number 25 CR 002118D. Ms. Ogunremi, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Chate. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
2021 battery, theft by taking dismiss. 2017 trespass. It's 4th arrest.
Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On April 21st, at the incident location 1638 West Lake Court, Northwest Atlanta, officers responded to a fight call. Upon arrival, they spoke with one of the involved parties, Mr. Michael Killian, who's the victim in this case. He stated that he and his roommate, which is the defendant, got into a dispute the day prior, and it ended with the defendant leaving for the night. When she returned the next day to get her belongings, she accused Mr. Killian of having her property in his room. She pushed her way into his room, and Mr. Killian attempted to get her out of his room. In doing so, they both fell to the floor and began to wrestle. While on the ground, the defendant scratched Mr. Killian's face on the right side, and she also bit him on his back. Mr. Killian called for the police, and officers at the scene noticed fresh scratches on the right side of his face and a bite mark on the lower left side of his back. We did speak to Mr. Killian today. He stated that he and the defendant are roommates at the incident location. He did confirm the events in the warrant, and he stated that they have had arguments in the past. It's the first time it's been physical. He does not want any contact at all with the defendant, and he wants her to stay away from the residence. As such, the state's recommendation is a $1,000 surety bond for each charge, and we're asking for a stay away from the incident location with the exception of a one-time police escort to retrieve the defendant's belongings. No contact with the victim at all, no alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond, and we'd like to sound for Mr. Killian today as he is on the Zoom call. That'll be all for the state.
Was Mr. Killian arrested as well? I don't think I saw that.
He was not, Your Honor.
Thank you. Michael Killian? All right. Mr. Chate, is your client, has she planning to vacate the Westlake location?
I spoke with her, Your Honor. I asked her if she would be okay with staying away from that address, and she said she would be okay with that.
Okay. On the battery is going to be 1,000. The simple battery is 1,000, and the battery family violence is 2,000. This is a total of a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 1. She is to have no further contact with Michael Killian, which means staying 200 yards away from him and not communicating with him in any way, form, or manner, including through third party, in person, mail, email, phone, and even on social media. She's to stay away from 1638 Westlake Court in Northwest Atlanta, where she used to reside. And she's not even allowed a one-time visit. She cannot return to that location for any reason until further order of the court. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And she will report to pretrial services once a month. If she gets arrested again, if she violates the conditions of this bond, it can be amended to either a cash bond or a surety bond. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I have a quick announcement for position number 15, Van Hendrich.
Yeah.
They waived their appearance, Judge, but can you do her case now? That way I can tell her bond.
All right. Haley Ben Heydrich is 25 CR 2111J, accused of simple assault, 2 counts of simple assault, 2 counts of battery, and 1 count of criminal trespass from April 21st, 2025. Haley Van Heydrich is represented by Mr. Chate, and Mr. Chate, you've waived her presence, correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. And with regards to this case, any priors, Mr. Howard?
7. She got an open battery and theft by taking in state court.
Yeah.
2018 battery DV NOLO. 2013 reckless conduct conviction.
Thank you.
And I apologize, Your Honor. Can I inquire as to the reason for the waiver? Does she just not want to come to court, or is there a MH or behavioral issue?
It was a behavior.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I was going to have Mr. Shatai chime in, but okay, that's another story. Okay, Ms. Melgizo, what's the recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. This incident is from April 21st, 2025. The location is an apartment complex located at 708 Spring Street Northwest, Atlanta, Georgia. Officers spoke with victim Bianca Reynolds, who stated that the defendant attempted to attack her and attack several residents. Officers also spoke with victim Perry Schwartz, who told officers that she was about to enter the elevator when the defendant threw a box of food at her and then tried to attack another resident. Another victim, Sarah Schoenbaum, told officers that she was in the lobby when the defendant took the victim's cell phone out of her hand and started striking the victim with it in the head. This victim had visible injuries to her head and was treated by Grady EMS unit and was transported to the hospital. A fourth victim, Markell Wilson, and I may be pronouncing that as Maurkelle, who actually works at the location, advised that after the defendant attacked several people, she noticed the defendant trying to charge at victim Reynolds. Victim Wilson stepped in to prevent defendant from attacking victim Reynolds and try to restrain the defendant, but she continued to try to fight. Victim Wilson had visible bruises and scratches on her right shoulder. There was video footage showing this happening. It actually showed that the defendant threw food at victim Schwartz. Your Honor, we did speak with the victims. Victim Schoenbaum confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated that her head was bleeding and she had a lump on her head. She stated that she wants no contact with the defendant and wants her to stay away from the property. Victim Perry confirmed the events in the warrant. She said that food was thrown at her. She had food on her face, clothes, and water. She doesn't know the defendant, but she also wants no contact. And she doesn't want the defendant to return to the location. Ms. Wilson, who works at the locations, confirmed the events. And she stated that she fears for her safety and for the safety of other residents. She is in the process of filing legal documents to evict the defendant. She wants no contact with the defendant, and she wants the defendant to stay away from the property. If we can sound for the victim, Ms. Wilson, when appropriate, I believe she'll be on Zoom and she wishes to be heard. The state's recommendation is a $5,000 surety bond. Stay away from the apartment complex located at 708 Spring Street Northwest. One-time police escort to retrieve her belongings. No further contact with victim Schwartz, victim Wilson, victim Reynolds, and victim Sarah Schobaum, or any other resident of the location. A social service visit to determine if a BHET is necessary. No alcohol, drugs, or weapons while on bond. That is all for the state. If we can send for the victim at this time.
All right, well, I've got a bunch. So there's Wilson, Schobaum, Schwartz, Cameron Moore, and Reynolds. So any of them who want to, Ms. Wilson, if you want to unmute, please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
All right. And are you a resident you can put it down? Are you a resident at the location as well?
No, I actually work there as a leasing assistant.
As a what?
As a leasing assistant, so I work there.
Leasing assistant. And is this a one building in which all the units are in one building?
Yes.
And how does one enter the premises? Is it through the front door or the back door, or are there many entrances and exits?
So there's a parking garage. Of course, you have to have a parking pass in order to get in. And then there are two entrances. You have to have your key access.
Okay. And no, that's all I had. Anything else to add?
I just request that she stays far away from the property. If she can get an escort or so to get her items, we're working on getting her evicted at this time.
Are her items in the leasing office?
I'm sorry?
Are her personal belongings in the leasing office or in the apartment unit?
In the apartment unit.
Okay.
So at this time, we have deactivated all of her her keys. So she'll need to be escorted by someone in the management team to her. But I just ask that she's escorted with police because I don't feel safe knowing that she will come back.
Understood. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Wilson. You may mute your screen, please. Mr. Chate?
Thank you, Your Honor. My client is 33 years old. She's a lifelong resident of Georgia. Thus, she has strong ties to the community. She has a bachelor's degree in social work, so she's been through quite a bit of school. And currently, she is unemployed and relies on money from her mother. So she would not be able to afford the bond that the state is requesting. So for those reasons, Your Honor, I ask this court to consider a $1,000 to $2,000 surety bond in total for all of these charges.
Thank you. On the simple assault, count 1 is 500, count 2 battery is 1,000, count 3 simple assault is 500, count 4 battery is 1,000, and count 5 criminal trespass is 500. The total bond is 3,500. It is a surety bond. No further contact with Reynolds, Moore, Schwartz, Schobaum, and Wilson. And she's to stay 200 yards away from the entire complex at 780 Spring Street, which includes the parking decks, the sidewalks, and definitely the inside the building as well. She's allowed a one-time visit to her apartment, but she must be in the company of a law enforcement officer or police officer, and that visit cannot exceed 1 hour. Her case is reset to May 6th, and Mr. Chate, I don't know if the other 2 cases are going to be reset to SAP also. She's got 2 other open cases, 22 CR 008312J, 24 CR 000554J, but they're in TDC, so I'm not sure I can put them on SAP calendar. All right, Francois?
Okay, Judge, you said it was 3,500, correct, surety bond?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you, Judge. That is it for us at ATD.
All right. Take care, Francois. Talk to you later. Courtroom 2, who do we have?
Position 7, Judge. Mr. Hardiman.
Thank you. This is Michael Hardeman, accused of battery, simple battery, and criminal trespass. His case number is 25 CR 2117G. Incident date appears to be March 2nd, 2025. Mr. Hardeman, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
Yeah, 11. Got an open ag assault, false imprisonment, terrorist threats out of the cab. On probation in Fulton for 3 counts of ag assault, possession of a firearm during the commission. It's 23 SC 186903. I got another probation, 2 counts of ag, possession of a firearm by convicted felon or felony first offender, obstruction, possession of a firearm during the commission. It's 23 SC 186926. 2021 failure to appear on an 04 ag battery, ag assault, armed robbery conviction.
Thank you. Ms. Weston?
Thank you, Your Honor. The victim in this case, her name is Pamela Bradfield, and the incident location is a hotel or motel on Forest Hills Drive in Atlanta. The victim made a report, and that's where she lives, on March 5th of an assault that happened 3 days prior on March 2nd. She had at the time called the defendant to ask for a favor and then changed her mind. He showed up at the location, a hotel, and called her outside. There's surveillance video that shows the defendant shoving the victim to the ground and then punching her repeatedly and then fleeing to his vehicle. The victim did not make a report initially, but was persuaded to after talking with family and seeing the visible injuries developing further and further on her face. Police did observe obvious blackened eyes. The investigation identified that the defendant's tag from his car, and that's how he was apprehended. And let's see, as was said, there's a lot of priors here, a lot of similar priors. There's arrests dating back to 2000, and the defendant, it looked like, spent about 18 years in jail. But, there's arrest for battery in 2000 where time expired. They're selling drugs. There's arrest for theft, extortion, ag assault, carrying a pistol. The May 2023 was also, there was an arrest for false imprisonment. So this is obviously a very serious case as far as the safety of the victim. She's known the defendant for 6 months. So at this point, we would be asking for a $3,000 surety bond, no further contact with the victim, Pamela Bradfield, a stay away from her home and her workplace, no alcohol, no drugs, no weapons, and an anger management course. We would sound for Pamela Bradfield, the victim, at this point.
Was it Bonneville or Bradfield? I couldn't.
It was.
I think it was Bradfield, wasn't it? Bradfield? Pamela
Yes,
Bradfield?
Your Honor, it is Bradfield. It is Pamela Bradfield. I misspoke the last time.
Pamela Bradfield, if you're on Zoom. All right. Mr. McLean? I'm sorry, please unmute.
Thank you. Thank you, Your Honor. 43-year-old Michael Hardeman is a graduate of Carver High School. And, well, he actually finished with a GED that year. So it shows his efforts to complete the education. And then, Your Honor, he is a worker at a recycling firm, medium size, not huge, but not small either. And he works there full time, Your Honor. He would ask the court to consider the lowest possible bond in this situation. If that is a signature bond, that would be great. If it's not a signature bond, he would ask for $1,000 surety.
Since 2021, Mr. Hardeman has racked in more than 20 counts, all involving some degree of violence. He's now got 2 probation hold for violent offense convictions. On each count is going to be $1,000. This is going to be a $3,000 cash bond only. Next court date is May 6th. No further contact with Pamela Bradfield. Stay away from the Travel Inn at 2788 Forest Hills in Southwest Atlanta. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and definitely no weapons and no firearms. You're precluded from owning or possessing or have any firearms due to your felony convictions. And if you do make bond, make sure that you comply with these conditions. Otherwise, you could end up in a no bond status. Unfortunately, you do also have 2 probation holds of the matter that will prohibit your release. Thank you.
That's 3K cash bond?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We go to position 11, Mr. Laguna.
Position 11, Mr. Laguna. Miss Lucia, she's here with us?
We're ready for that. We're ready for the breakout.
Okay. Deputy, Mr. Laguna would have to speak with his attorney and the interpreter in a breakout session. Would we be able to arrange that?
Yes, Judge. We're gonna take him over to courtroom 1. We're gonna arrange it now.
Okay. All right, Miss Lucia, you can be placed in a breakout room with Mr. McLean and Mr. Laguna very shortly. Who else do we have in courtroom 2?
Go to position 12, Mr. McLena.
Okay. This is Rontrell Deshawn Melancon, case 25CR 2115B, accused of criminal trespass from April 21st of this year. Mr. Melancon, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Any prize, Mr. Howard?
11, 2024 failure to appear. 2023 loitering and filing conviction. 2023 disorderly conduct. 2022 simple battery against police conviction. 21 failure to appear, and 2020 trespass conviction.
All right, thank you. Ms. Harrison?
Yes, Your Honor. On April 21st, 2025, at 244 East Broad Street, Fairburn, which is a landmark overpass, Officer McDonald was asked to check the area to make sure that there were no people under the bridge. Upon arrival, he spotted the defendant, who had a red jacket. He was wearing a red jacket at the time. He stood up to leave when he saw officers. Officers asked him to have a seat and asked for his name and date of birth. He identified himself, and they checked GCIC and discovered that he had been previously trespassed on that same property on August 17th, 2024. So he was informed to not return to this area under the landmark bridge. He's also been noted to have been trespassed at a couple of other places in that area. We are aware of his failure to appear. The state's recommendation is a signature bond, a stay away from the incident location. We do have concerns that the defendant might be residentially challenged. So we're asking for a social worker visit to assess if there are any resources available to help the defendant in that manner. We are also asking for no alcohol, drugs, or weapons, and I believe that will be all for the state, Your Honor.
Mr. McLean, your client doesn't qualify for a signature bond with the 2 prior FTAs.
Your Honor, this is one where I had chatted that for my portion of it. I hope his mom is on. I spoke to her. We need to go break out for this defense portion.
What's her name?
His mother, I don't know that I caught her name. I called her on the phone. Let's see.
Okay, let's see. Is anyone here interested in speaking up for Rontrell Melancon? Please unmute and start your video. All right, there isn't anyone. Courtroom 1, Mr. McLean will be with you very shortly. Yes, Mr. McLean? Anything else?
Yes, Your Honor. I would need to tell the court some background information that would be confidential.
Okay. Miss Grace, if you can place Miss Harrison, Mr. McLean, myself, and Miss Allen if she wants to join us in a breakout.
Yes, ma'am.
Courtroom 1 will be with you very shortly. All right, after conferring with Defense Counsel and the state with regards to Rontrell Melancon, his bond is going to be set at $2,000. This is going to be a surety bond. His next court date is May 8th at 11 a.m. Again, May 8th at 11 a.m. He's to stay away from the incident location, be compliant with all medication and treatment, and no illegal drugs, no weapons, and no firearms. Thank you. All right, Miss Grace, can we place courtroom 1, Mr. McLean and Miss Lucia in a separate breakout room, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Courtroom 1, you're going to see a message on the screen to join the breakout, please. All right, while the case is going to go into a breakout, let me just go over the calendar.
Judge, I'm sorry. We have South Index here. I have resident Diallo.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's
Oh.
okay.
All right. And that would be Mukhtar Diallo?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Deborah, is it possible to lower the camera just a tad so that the lighting is on Mr. Diallo? Oh, well, it came and went, but all right, good. I see him now. Okay, I recognize him from his picture.
That better?
I got it. This is State versus Mukhtar Diallo, case 25 CR 2099A. Mr. Diallo is accused of criminal trespass causing damage to property from April 21st, 2025. Mr. Diallo, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. This case was reset from April 22nd. I think Judge
Correct, yeah.
Morrow has already set a $1,000 surety bond. Why am I revisiting this case?
Your Honor, just briefly, the defendant is 17 years old. The victim in this case is his mother. She reports she does not want him back home. His violent behavior, refusal to go to school, and refusal to comply with the conditions of his municipal court case in Sandy Springs have created an issue for her. And so the public defender and their social worker were working with the defendant and perhaps making contact with his family members to see if they could find somewhere else for him to go. He is still in school and needs to stay in the area where this case is coming out of in Sandy Springs.
And who's his defense attorney?
Yesterday it was Mrs. Armstrong.
Ms. Armstrong is not here. Ms. Kasha, are you here on behalf of Mr. Diallo? Oh, she has to reach over to unmute. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, I was able to locate a friend of the family that would be able to, if you were able to sign a release order for Mr. Diallo to be released on a signature bond. Judge Morrow did say that it would be a signature bond that he would receive if we were able to locate. And I do have I have identified a friend of the family that's able to take him. In the meantime, we are also in negotiations of his father possibly taking him, but his father is out of town or out of states. We're working.
And is this a person over the age of 21?
Yes.
And may I have that person's name?
Tiffany Little.
Tiffany, Tiffany?
Yes, Little.
Little?
Yes.
And what's the relationship? A friend?
Just a friend.
Okay. And do you have a good address for Miss Little?
I was actually in the process of texting her, but I had to come into court at the time, so I wasn't able to see if she responded back to my text message as of yet. But I can provide that to the courts shortly.
Okay, Miss Allen, any objection?
We would have helped y'all.
No, Your Honor, we're absolutely fine with a 17-year-old getting out of jail and going somewhere else. Thank you.
Mr. Diallo, can you understand what's been going on in your case? Mukhtar Diallo, can you respond? Do you understand what's going on?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Our bond is going to be amended to 2,500. It's going to be a signature bond through pretrial services. And Tiffany Little, Tiffany, last name Little, common spelling, has to co-sign your bond. In other words, in order for you to be released on a signature bond, Miss Little must sign your bond. And then you have to live at the same location as Miss Little. So your address must be amended to the same address, the residential address that Miss Little shares. You are to have no further contact with Mahawa Diallo. You have to stay 200 yards away from Miss Mahawa Diallo, and you cannot return to 748 Highland Park Trail in Atlanta, Georgia. Do you understand? I need to know whether you understand or not.
Gotta talk up. She just can't hear you.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're not to consume any illegal drugs. You're not to consume any alcoholic beverages. You are to continue attending school and completing your classes. If you get arrested again, if you violate the conditions of your bond, or if you don't show up to court when summoned, then your $2,500 signature bond will be converted to a cash bond or a surety bond. What's the question?
When will be my next court date?
Your next court date will be sent to Miss Tiffany Little's address. So you need to make sure that the address we have on you in court is Miss Little's address. Do you know Tiffany Little?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, make sure that you come to court to the clerk's office. You will report to pretrial services once a month.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you.
What level was that, Judge?
Level 1.
Thank you, Your Honor. You have a good day.
Your Honor.
Thank you. And Ms. Kasha, as soon as we get that address, that'll be very helpful.
Yes, I'm gonna try and get it before court is out.
All right, thank you so much.
Hopefully after this client here, we'll see if I get this date in the courtroom.
And what's this reset date? Oh, no, no reset date since we've amended it to a signature bond. Okay. Who do we have now?
Position 14, Mr. Smith.
Eric Smith Jr. is accused of criminal trespass and willful obstruction of an officer. From April 22nd of this year, his accusation number is 25 CR 2110E. Mr. Smith, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Mr. Chate. Is that your client, Mr. Chate?
I don't believe so, Your Honor. No.
Oh.
I think it's Mr. McLean's.
Mr. McLean's. Okay. Please hold Mr. Smith. Deputy, do we have anyone else in the courtroom for Mr. Chate?
Not that I know of, Judge, but we do have a waiver. That's Mr. Jamison. I think that's Mr. McLean's though.
Yeah, it is Mr. McLean's as well. Okay, we'll just hold for a few more moments until they come out of the breakout. Miss Grace, can you send a message to the breakout room that we are ready to address the interpreter case? Okay, on
Judge,
Yes, ma'am.
to the person in the chat, the gentleman goes to felony first appearance tomorrow. It's felony drug charges.
Okay, I'm assuming you're discussing Gonzalez?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, we can address that later. Thank you. James Ale, position number 1 is a final reset to tomorrow's C calendar at 2 p.m. And this is not a Riverside issue. Position 2, Bailey Jones, was a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. Position 3, Diallo was amended to a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services with a co-signer, Tiffany Little. Position 4, Daryl Evans is a final reset to April 24th at 2 p.m. Position 5, Gardenoff David is reset to April 24th. See calendar at 2 p.m. for a Russian interpreter, not a Riverside issue. Position 6, Gutierrez is going to be a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial, level 2, no violent contact, and at FFIP. Position 7, Hardeman is a $3,000 cash bond only, reset May 6th. Position 8, John Harris is a $4,000 surety bond, reset May 6th. Position 9, Spencer Ip is a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 1, no violent contact, FVIP, surrender of passport, and no travel outside the United States. Position 10, Yassine Jasmine, it was a waiver of appearance. We're waiting on Mr. McLean for that. Position 11, Laguna, we're waiting on Mr. McLean for that. Position 12, Melancon is a $2,000 surety, reset to May 8th at 11 a.m. Position 13, Ogun Remy is a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial, level 1. Position 14, Eric Smith, we are waiting on Mr. McLean for that. Position 15, Van Heydrich is a $3,000 surety bond, reset May 6th. This was a waiver of appearance.
Yeah, and I have 3,500.
Did I say, yeah, you're right, it's 3,500, sorry. 3,500 surety bond. Position 16, Zephyr is a 2,500 signature bond to pretrial level 1. And stay away from Homewood when she can return to Homewood Suites as long as her work hours do not overlap with the victim.
Correct.
No. Okay, any response, Ms. Grace, from Mr. McLean?
I told him, Judge, and me tell him again.
No, all you have to do is just shut down the breakout room. They have 1 minute to time out. Thank you. All right, perfect timing. Okay, Ms. Lucia, we ready?
Your Honor, I believe Mr. McLean may have an announcement.
Oh, yeah, I'm on mute. Sorry. Could we have until tomorrow, Your Honor? I need to call someone and he doesn't have the phone number, but I believe I can find it.
So you want to reset it to the C calendar tomorrow?
Yes, Your Honor.
And Ms. Lucia, will you be available tomorrow, 2 o'clock?
I believe so, Your Honor. Give me 1 second, really quick here. Um, I believe so, Your Honor. More towards the 2:30, 2:45 hour. Will that be okay?
That'll be fine.
Okay. And Your Honor, can we sound off for, I don't know if
Gonzalez?
I'm sorry?
Oh, Ali Gonzalez?
Yeah, well, no, I think Fraylene Hidalgo is the victim, and I don't know if is Ms. Gonzalez here on this case?
I see Ali Gonzalez,
I
but
saw that too. Do you want me to sound off and see what that is about, Your Honor?
Sure.
Señora Ali González, ¿para qué caso está usted aquí?
I speak English.
Oh, sorry about that. My bad. Let me just sound off for somebody else and really quickly. Por si acaso la señora Fraylene Hidalgo se encuentra en la llamada de Zoom. No, all right. No, Your Honor, I just wanted to sound off.
Okay, if you could please translate this for Mr. Laguna. This case is going to be reset to April 24th at 2 p.m. That's tomorrow.
Señor Laguna, la juez indica que este caso ha sido movido al calendario de casos del día de mañana a las 2 de la tarde, igual que hoy.
This is not a Riverside matter.
Esto no es un hecho, no está sucediendo por algo que sucede con Riverside.
In other words, he can be detained at Fulton County Jail until his first appearance tomorrow.
En otras palabras, usted puede permanecer en la cárcel de Fulton hasta el día de mañana que tiene su primera audiencia.
Without any penalty to the state.
Sin ninguna penalidad ni multa para el Estado.
All right, we will address this matter then.
Right, Your Honor. I'm trying to get hold of a person named Luis Bellorin, so I'll hopefully accomplish that by tomorrow.
Sounds good.
I have a question, ma'am.
Please. All right. Are you Ms. Gonzalez?
Yes, I just want to know his
But
information for tomorrow.
you take your hat off when you're in court.
Yes, ma'am. I just would like to know his information for court tomorrow.
Tomorrow, 2 p.m. And there will be a separate,
and then
there'll be a separate Zoom link. And so you'll need to contact the clerk's office or from wherever you got the Zoom link presently.
Okay, so it's this present Zoom link.
It'll be a different Zoom link.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much.
But hold on. The
Señora
felony court
González.
starts at 11.
Yeah, Mrs. Gonzalez is here for Ulysses Nicholas, who is on the felony first appearance tomorrow.
Oh, then I have no idea what she's talking about. I thought she was talking about the Laguna case. So, Ms.
No.
Gonzalez, if you can switch off your video and unmute, I'm not involved in the case you're asking about. All right, Mr. McLean, we have a couple more people to address position number 10, but let's address Eric Smith first. Eric has disappeared?
And Your Honor, if that is all the business for me in the court, may I please be excused?
Yes, Ms. Lucia, thank you so much. Hope you'll be here tomorrow around 2:30, 2:45. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a good afternoon.
You too.
Yes. Yes, so
All right. Eric Smith Jr. has been advised of his case number and the charges brought against him. His attorney is Mr. McLean. Any priors, Mr. Howard?
14. We got open trespass and obstruction. Trespass, simple battery against police, obstruction, terrorist threats. It's 24 SC 005233. Has an open battery case from Marta. On probation, criminal trespass, 24 CR 003 825E. Probation from this year, 2024 trespass PI conviction. 2 trespass convictions from 2023. One of them was certain acts on bus, rail. Another 2023 trespass PI conviction, 2023 battery conviction, 2023 violation of family violence order conviction, 2022 terrorist threats conviction.
And are these mostly in Fulton County? Because I didn't see that many cases.
I don't know. I mean, the ones I gave you, the other ones can be from somewhere else. I didn't make a note of it. I just
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor, they're mostly from Fulton, and he also has a 2024 FTA.
Okay.
Your Honor, really, this would be kind of similar to the bridge case in that I think it might be suitable to take this straight to the competency calendar.
All right. Based on what Mr. McLean is saying, this will be a total of a $2,000 signature, surety bond. Stay away from the incident location. And next court date is going to be May 8th at 11 a.m.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And he'll need a social worker visit.
Yes, definitely.
Is that 1,000 on each charge?
Yes, 2,000 surety, May 8th at 11 a.m. and social worker visit. No illegal drugs, alcohol, and weapons, and to be compliant with all treatment and medication. All right, Deputy, that was Mr. Smith's bond, $2,000 surety. With regards to position number 10, Mr. McLean, you have waived Yassine Jameson's appearance. Yassine Jameson's accused of simple battery from April 22nd and theft by shoplifting. Case number 25 CR 002112D. Any bias?
We did expect his bond to have been made by now.
44. Last arrest was in February for trespass. It's 25 CR 009. They missing a number, but it ends in D. 2023 theft of services. 2023 trespass giving false name. 2022 probation. Another 2022 probation. 2019 forgery conviction. 2018 FTA. 2018 obstruction no law. And a family violence violation order from 2015 conviction.
Okay. And Mr. McLean, you think he had bonded out?
We were told that the bond was underway. So if that is correct, how far along it is at the front window, we're not sure. The front window's right, literally shares a wall.
Okay,
Well,
I don't have any bonding. He did bond out back on February 26, 2025 on $1,000 surety bond through Small Bail Bonds, Inc. But there is no indication that a bond company is involved at the present time.
Okay. Your Honor.
Yeah.
Let's hear from Ms. Harrison.
Sure.
I was gonna actually give him the option if he wants to move forward or not, because Odyssey is not really showing if he's bonded out or not, but we're ready.
I guess, Your Honor, if I might chime in, was the purpose of waiving his appearance because you thought he would be bonded out before we got to court?
I thought he would be bonded out before we got to court, but he had a priority of making a phone call to ensure that his family or friends were aware. And the deputies gave him an option because it had to do with the convenience of bringing him back or not. So he decided it was worth it to make that phone call.
So you didn't speak to him?
Oh, I did speak to him, yes.
Okay, so if he can be brought in, that would be great.
I thought this was a waiver of appearance. Mr. McLean, did you
What
find
would it be based on, I guess? What's the waiver based on? I hope I get out before we can go to court so nobody can address my case.
Miss Allen, whatever the defendant
We
reasons
don't put it
are,
that way.
whatever the defendant's reasons are, if he and his attorney have conferred and they've decided on a waiver, we're moving on. So
I was confused. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was permissible to just say I'm not going to court. I apologize.
If they don't
It is.
want to go to court, that's their option. I'm not going to force them. But Miss Harrison, what's your
We'll
recommendation?
proceed. Yes, Your Honor. This incident occurred on February 22nd, 2025. The incident location is 235 Peachtree Street. It is a CVS store. The defendant was witnessed by store security concealing a package of hygiene items, an effective toothpaste, and a toothbrush. When confronted, he responded by physically striking Mr. Bertram Bodie, or Bodie, who is the victim in this case, and he's a CVS security associate. The state's recommendation in light of the defendant's prior offenses is a $1,000 surety bond and stay away from the incident location, no alcohol, drugs, or firearm while on bond. And we'll ask to sound for the victim if he did join the call, but we did not get in touch with him.
Bertram Body, if you are on Zoom. I don't see one. All right, Mr. McLean?
I don't think he would be opposed to that recommendation.
I'm going to go with the original bond, which is a simple battery is, I think it was 1,500, and the theft by shoplifting is 1,000. The total bond is going to be 2,500. That's a surety bond. No further contact with Bertram Body, and to stay away from the CVS store at 235 Peachtree Street, as well as all CVS stores in Fulton County, Georgia. Next
Very
court
good.
is May 6th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Mhm. So if he's in the process of being bonded out, that's the bond he has already pursuant to the warrants. ACDC, did you have another matter to address?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Does anybody else want me to go over the calendar? All right, I guess not. Nobody wants to go through that exercise again. All right, Ms. Bridgewater, then we are good, and I will see everyone, if I'm lucky, on Friday.
Yay!
All right, take care, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great
Take
afternoon.
care.
Thank
Yes,
you.
indeed. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy.
Judge, you can really just not come to court? Oh my God. Mr. McLean, can you explain it to me?
Yeah, sometimes they just don't want to come to court. Sometimes they want to go
I
take
didn't
a
know
nap.
that was allowed. That's allowed.
It's absolutely allowed. We don't even question them why they do. Their motivation is none of my business.
Okay, got it. Thank you for educating me. I really didn't know.
Yeah.
How are you doing? You doing all right?
Oh, pretty good. Looking forward to Friday and being in the sunlight.
I understand. It's raining. You're not missing anything right now.
Right, exactly.
All right, see you soon.
See you.
Bye.